Business leaders need to be thinking about, and they should be worried about, and they should be getting excited about the fact that the internet is entering a second era, and they need to transform their businesses around that. For the last 40 years, we've had the internet of information. But when I send some information, I'm actually sending you a copy, a PDF, a PowerPoint. Even with a website, I keep the original. That's fine for information. But when it comes to the things that business leaders really care about, assets, things of value, money, stocks, bonds, intellectual property, even cultural assets like art and music or votes, sending a copy of those is a terrible idea. You don't want someone copying your vote. You don't want someone copying your identity. And if I send you £1,000, it's really important that I don't still have the money. Enter blockchain. Satoshi Nakamoto, 2008, anonymous person, came up with this way of people transacting, doing business with assets peer-to-peer. And trust is not achieved by a middleman. It's achieved by cryptography, by collaboration, and by some clever code. And what that means is that we now have a native digital medium for value. So what does this mean for you as a business leader? This is not about Bitcoin or digital currencies or crypto assets. It's the underlying blockchain technology. Now people can trust each other and they can transact with anything from money to music, to votes, to their identities peer-to-peer. So what that means is that the nature of the corporation and the nature of competitiveness is going to change. This is a time of great transformation. First of all, every industry will go through huge convulsions, not just financial services, resources, retail, manufacturing, transportation, logistics, marketing, even government will be transformed. Secondly, it means that every business function will change. Consider a CFO. With blockchain, you have something that we call triple entry accounting. We've had double entry accounting for a long time, a debit and a credit. Now there's automatically a third entry on the blockchain. That means that you have a real-time audit. So you're not going to need an auditor at the end of the year to come and sample what you did. There'll be a real-time story of everything that happened that you can check throughout the year. Same is true for all the other C-suite activities. Consider the operations person in charge of logistics or supply chain. The supply chain is a $64 trillion industry, and all of that is going to move on to blockchain. The biggest supply chain ever, probably, the One Belt, One Road project linking Hong Kong and Rotterdam, is using blockchain for trade finance and all kinds of other applications. And that's a great example because you can see trade finance. You have a buyer, a seller, and there are various shippers, there are escrow agents and authorities and tax people and all kinds of players. Rather than handing off pieces of paper and faxes and emails and so on, everyone has a shared network state where they can look real time at everything that's happening. Small companies can be the biggest beneficiaries of blockchain, because little companies can now have all the capabilities of big companies without the main liabilities of bureaucracy and legacy systems and culture and so on. And the reason is that blockchain drops transaction costs in the open market. The cost of search, of finding the right assets, the right money, the right people. You don't have to go to a venture capitalist to raise money. You can do a crowdfunding campaign called an initial coin offering. Blockchain also drops the cost of collaboration and contracting in an open market because of something called smart contracts. Just like what they sound like, contracts that self-execute, they police themselves. They're sort of like a contract with a lawyer and a bank and a government in software inside the contract. So this is a halcyon age for entrepreneurship, and companies overall are going to become more decentralized, and they're going to start to look like networks. And business leaders that can figure that out now and take steps now can get the jump. I said this is 1995. And back then, there was this view that we underestimate the impact of technology in the long term, but we overestimate it in the short term. I don't think that's true anymore. Back then, we didn't have broadband. Telephones were connected to the wall with a wire. Today, all of that exists, and we have 6 billion people with a supercomputer in their pocket. They're blockchain ready right now. A lot of them in the developing world don't have a bank account, or an identity, but they have a mobile and they can instantly be brought into the financial system. So expect the rate of change to be faster this time around. Bottom line, what should you do now? Download a digital wallet onto your mobile phone and buy some crypto, and then go purchase something. Get some pilots going in your organization. Experiment. And depending on the size of your organization, there will be people out there who are really into this. Find them, promote them, give them resources, and help them transform the organization as a whole. And the final one is I'd encourage companies to understand the strategic impact on their organization and industry through deep research. And that's what we're doing at the Blockchain Research Institute. Now, 10 years from now, the top 10 cryptocurrencies today, I'd be surprised if there were 3 of them still on the list. And there are all kinds of amazing new technologies that are linking various blockchains together and creating all kinds of new capabilities. Companies like Cosmos or Polkadot, Aeon, Icon. These are the next generation of companies and probably of investment opportunities too. Having said that, I don't give investment advice.